Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. Looks like MAME is dropping support for a few games after being issued a cease and desist. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, I'm filming this one in the morning, so good morning to you, or I guess good afternoon, evening, or night to you, depending on when you're watching this video. In this one, we're talking about the recent cease and desist that was sent to MAME, and MAME actually complied with it. It was about dropping support for two specific games here, Akai Katana, and I'm going to butcher this last one here, Dodonpachi Saidai Aojao. Now for reference here, apparently this is a copy of the cease and desist letter, so I will leave it in the description below in the event that you want to check it out. We can see it was sent to the MAME dev team here, and the letter says, "We, XA Arcadia, the arcade licensees of Cave Interactive," which is the company behind those two games, arcade titles including Akai Katana and Dodonpachi, hereinafter referred to as the product. It has been determined that you are currently using product which is copyrighted work in accordance with Title 17 of the US Code without our authorization. We have found the following instances of unauthorized use of a product: Akai Katana and Dodonpachi Saidai Aojao. They then go on to state, permission was neither asked nor granted to reproduce our product, and your actions therefore constitute an infringement of our rights. Now, I am not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, and I'm not anywhere close to a legal expert. I would argue this sentence though. I wouldn't necessarily think permission would be required to emulate something, especially since it's been established in court before. But that doesn't matter here, we're going to keep moving on. Accordingly, we demand that you immediately remove the material and cease any further all of our product, including any other infringements, otherwise you could be liable for statutory damages as high as $150,000. And last up, if we do not receive an affirmative response from you by January 1st, 2022, indicating that you have fully complied with these requirements, we shall consider taking any and all legal remedies available to rectify this situation. Wow. So again here, I am not a lawyer and this is not legal advice. But I would argue that they don't have any legal remedies available to them at this point in time, considering emulation is legal provided you're not using any of the original source code. But we'll move on from here. Now, if we go to MAME's GitHub page here and take a look at the code, because MAME is open source, yes, they did remove support for Akai Katana and Dodonpachi Saidai Aojao. Now, for those that are unaware, MAME is an incredibly popular arcade game emulator. In fact, MAME stands for Multiple Arcade Machine Emulator. And the two games in question here, again, butchering the names, I apologize, Dodonpachi Saidai Aojao, which was released back in 2012 here, is a vertical shmup. It's a bullet hell. And Akai Katana, which I would argue is a little bit more popular here, was released back in 2010 to fairly positive reviews. This one is a side-scrolling shmup that is also a bullet hell. Now, I want to remind you here, I am not a lawyer, I'm not a legal expert. This is not legal advice. These are just my opinions. I don't think EXA Arcadia has a legal leg to stand on. I don't think their cease and desist is valid. A lot of people will cite a case like this one here, Sony Computer Entertainment versus Connectix, where more or less emulators were proven legal. Now, I'll leave a link to this Reddit thread in the description below, and I do recommend checking it out because there's one MAME developer here who is talking about the cease and desist and why they complied with it. One of the things they state, it's simply a case of if someone doesn't want support for something, and the request is reasonable, MAME won't support it. It seems to be greatly lost in the wider scene today, but a lot of the ways in which MAME operates come down to respect, and not causing other people issues, rather than legality. I don't think any of the developers believe there's anything illegal about documenting facts, but not causing issues for other people has always been the most important thing. MAME exists to help, not harm. While I agree with most of this statement, specifically the last paragraph here, I don't necessarily agree with all of it. For example, the first paragraph, the request is reasonable. I would argue that it wasn't a request at all. It was more of a demand, a legal demand. And the second paragraph, you can really split hairs with it because it says, but a lot of the ways, not 100% certain here, but a lot of the ways in which MAME operates come down to respect. and not causing other people issues rather than legality. Well, in this case, it came down to legality. I mean, it was a cease and desist issued by lawyers. Now, fortunately here, there is a bit of a silver lining. MAME, I think here, does understand that, well, EXA Arcadia really doesn't have a legal leg to stand on, because they say, we don't believe they have a legal leg to stand on. So that gets a thumbs up. Now, the downside to this is that MAME is essentially bowing out of a battle that, in my opinion, they would probably win. And this might have bigger repercussions for the rest of the community. It might not, I hope it doesn't, but there is a slim chance that possibly another company sees this and sees MAME bowing out and tries to do the same thing. Now, at the end of the day here, a friendly reminder yet again that I am not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, and these are just my opinions. And yes, I know this is not my battle to fight, and I do have to respect MAME's decisions here, whether or not I agree with them. But I will say, from a bigger picture perspective, MAME's decisions and MAME's actions here might actually impact Emulation as a whole. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully things stay the way they are here and don't progress any further. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyways, that is all I've got for this video. Let me know your thoughts on this entire situation in the comments below. Do you agree with it? Do you not agree with it? Do you have more insight to add to the argument? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Thank you, everyone. Take care.